Hey YouTube, today I just wanted to talk about a few EDC lights that I have. I've been using these for a while. I've used this is the Innova XS. This is the first one I bought. This one's about a year and a half old. Then I have the Phoenix E15, which is about 8 months old as of this point. And then I have the Phoenix E05 SS, which is actually my newest one. I got that one about a week ago. So, if you don't carry an EDC light, first of all, you should. EDC, for those of you who don't know, is everyday carry, and it's just something that you carry with you all the time, just for, you could say for emergency use, but honestly, you end up using it quite a bit. So I've ended up using them quite a bit, so I don't think it's so much for emergency as just for everyday use. But they're good to have in emergency. Let's go over some of the specs here. Let's start with the EO5. It has a high output of 85 lumens, and it says it'll do that for an hour. It has a medium output of 25 lumens, and it claims it'll do that for 4 hours. And finally, it has a low output of 8 lumens, and it says it'll do that for 15 hours. This one uses a single AAA cell. I imagine that if you put a lithium cell in there, those numbers would be a little bit better, but I have not tested that with any of these, really. I've not ever done runtime tests. That's just, I don't have that kind of time or patience. The next one is the Innova XS, and I think this is the little bit older version of the XS, because this one, if I remember right when I bought it, it had like a high output of 55 lumens and a low of like 8. But now, when I just went to check out the specs, it has a high output of 80 lumens for an hour and a low output of 13 lumens for 29 hours. Again, this one does run on a single AAA cell. And finally, we have the Phoenix E15. Definitely the brightest, highest output, longest runtime of these three. But as you'll see in a few minutes, this one's got some problems that these two don't have. But anyway, high output, 170 lumens. So this thing can throw some light quite a ways. And it's rated at an hour and 50 minutes at 170 lumens. Interesting fact though, after like 5 minutes in high mode, this end gets super hot, and there's actually a cutoff inside that'll take you down to medium mode. So the high is actually the combined runtime of turning it on multiple times till it turns to medium, which is a really confusing way to state it. But anyway, yeah. Medium output, like I said, 80 lumens. It says it'll do that for 4.5 hours, and low is 11 at 36 hours. This one does use a CR123 lithium, not your AAA like the other two. So I will show you that if you're not familiar. It's these guys here. These are actually, before somebody asks, they will not take the rechargeable version of this battery. Sorry, I just dropped it there. So don't buy the rechargeable version. Even the ones that say they are regulated at 3 volts, they won't fit. At least the 10 energy versions will not fit. So we'll get into that. That's part of the problem with this light. But another problem. They actually can do a tail stand. That's nice. A lot of people like a tail stand. So let's see if we can get the damn thing back together. We're starting to run into some of the problems with this light. So yeah, tail stand. So if you like to use it as a candle, there you go. You can. I know some people like that. That's an important feature for them. I always wear my lights on a lanyard, like this. It's got a little split ring there, just a cobra weave little knot there. Yeah. So anyway, tail stand's not important to me. So I could really care less. But, you know, this is a product review, so there's a feature it has. Let's talk about a few things that I don't like. I've already kind of brushed over a couple of them, but the biggest flaw, I think, with this light is the threads. Let me get the camera to focus here. Okay. So here you can see you have these really fine threads, right? Really Really shallow threads, really tight together. And then right in here you have this big notch cut out. Okay? That one on this side too, and the threads go through it. All this is to hold the circuit board in, obviously, but this is ridiculous because it makes it so easy to cross-thread. I mean, seriously, it is so easy to cross-thread this thing. And you won't know until you're about, half a turn into it. And then it's even more difficult the next time because you've already started to cross-thread it. So you have to kind of turn it backwards. You'll find it click, you'll find the threads. And there, it just did it. There we go. This is a live demo. There we go. Okay, so once you get it assembled, okay, that's great. And I guess the light output it's great. It's not bad, but the fit on this light. Just watch this. Ready? Do you see how much this head wiggles? It sounds ridiculous, but it never seems like it's going to stay on. Like it's a half a turn from falling off, basically. So I don't know. And then if it's on tight enough to stay put, it always is it wants to flicker. And you're probably thinking, what's the big deal? Who cares? Who cares if it flickers? Well, if you have it in your pocket and there's pressure on it, it'll turn on. And this thing has killed so many cells just by, either being in a pocket or being like on my necklace at night and you sleep on it and it turns on, you wake up, your battery's dead. So, and then you don't realize it till that night, and then you don't have a light. So it's really annoying. So this light I'm actually not a huge fan of. To be honest, I probably wouldn't buy this one again. See, I can't even get it back together. See, this is exactly the... There we go. Anyway, I'm going to put that one aside. Let's continue on to the Innova. The Innova XS here. This is a great little light. These two, if you buy the aluminum version of the EO5 SS, so if you just buy the regular EO5, these two are about the same money. This one's, I think they're both around $20. And I don't know why you purchase this when you could have this for about the same price. But let's just talk about it. Again, it's aircraft grade aluminum. The twisty switch is on the back rather than the front, which I actually like better, but it's not a big deal either way. This one has nice threads on it, unlike this one. The threads on this one are pretty aggressive. So I'm going to get the camera to focus. So you can see they're pretty deep, pretty wide threads. So it actually bites on its threads very well. It doesn't want to cross thread ever. So that's been nice. Well, one bummer deal is that you can see this is domed on the back. The little Innova logo there. So this one is incapable of doing a tail stand. So for some people that's sad. Like I said, I don't really care, but if you want the best of both worlds, as far as output and features and tail standability and waterproofness and all that jazz, I'd go for this one. All day. Like I said, I have not owned it for that long. Honestly, the only problem I can find with this light, and this is just being ridiculously nitpicky. Let me get the camera to focus. Okay. So these grooves, cut right here. These grooves that are machined in, they're really sharp. Like this, if you go over them, they're super sharp, and actually, I feel like I could almost cut myself on them if I were to push pretty hard. So, which it's really easy to fix. You can just take a Dremel tool with a small burr and just smooth that out. But anyway, that's the only negative thing I could find about this one. I guess if you're one of those people who cares about every single gram they carry, well, this is the heaviest light here. Weighs, I think, like 1.5 ounces with a battery. It's just even a little bit more than this one, I believe. These are roughly the same. This one's probably even a little bit heavier, though, because this one's all aluminum and this one's all stainless. But the fit and finish on the SS is just, it's so worth it. So if I were to have one of these it'd be this one. And then let's just do really quick kind of a beam comparison. I'm going to turn off the lights here. I'm sure this isn't going to work great, but we'll give it a shot. Okay. So here is, let me get the camera to focus. Here is the EO5SS on low. You can see a nice big wide floodlight. Nothing hot in the center. This is about 18 inches off of the tabletop here. That's on low, medium, high, and obviously the camera is compensating, so it's hard to see the difference. But there's kind of a beam quality shot. Just very nice, wide, spread out beam. Very good for close-up work. Let's see, I'll grab the Innova SS here. I'm sorry, that was not at all what I'm holding. It's the Innova XS. Not confusing at all. This one has a little bit hotter center. The camera makes it look a little bit hotter than it really is. But if I take it off camera here, you can see there's a nice wide flood. Kind of a hot center. So again, it's about 18 inches off the table. But pleasant light. It's fine up close. It's not too aggressive. And now for the last contender here. Holy cow, look at that. This is the E15, and this thing is just ridiculous. There's high. The camera just had to stop down. So there, you can see there's not really much floodlight. It's a pretty hot center. So I don't know. I don't like this one all that much. Let me turn the lights back on. Okay, so there's the three. And I guess here's the order I'd put them in.